Bible says that you need to cast down imaginations. Every imagination in your head that does not match with the image of God, where you see yourself in debt years, nothing is happening, when you see yourself suffering from a sickness or allergy for years and nothing is happening, when you see doing a business and for years it is only reached a certain level, when you see that imagination coming to you, you cast it down, you lower it. Cast it down means lower it. And you know how do you lower it? By raising something else up, by raising the imagination that God is showing you, by raising what God is telling you. That's how you cast it down and bring your Jesus up, bring the right imagination up. Replace all that wrong imagination with the right imagination, and do it often. You need to take time off, sit on a chair, read the word of God, and start imagining. That is related to your career, related to your life, your marriage, your ministry. Start imagining things. So bring down the wrong imagination. I heard about this lady who, in her family, I shared this with Ria, I think, when I was in Kerala. In her family, every woman who crossed the age of 50, she started suffering with arthritis. Suddenly the bones will become very stiff and hard, and there's no movement. And so this happened to every lady in her family, her mother, her grandmother, sisters, everybody. And now this lady, she was from that family, she was celebrating her 50th birthday. And now she knew what was coming. So even as she was in her birthday party, people started talking, and she had this picture, and oh my God, now my bones are going to, stiffen up, and this arthritis is coming for me. But she was a woman of the Lord. She said, nothing doing. This image I don't accept. That's what I said. Now you bring that image down and lift up some other image that God is showing you. So every time she would get that image of she being in pain, she would sit on a chair and start imagining herself playing the piano. Every time the devil would come and show a picture of her bones getting stiff and she being dependent on somebody else, she would imagine her fingers moving on the keyboard. She would see herself doing knitting, and she would say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I'm well. Thank you. And guess what? She never faced the demon of arthritis in her life. Everybody else suffered. They accepted that picture. This woman stood up and said, I need to cast it down, because this picture is not coming from my Father. Many of you are in a place where you are is because of the way you are looking at yourself. The me you see is the me you'll be. Some of you see yourself as, you are not done enough studies. You don't hold an MBA degree. You don't hold this degree, that degree. So you are so scared even to ask for a raise in your company. It's not your company's problem. It's the way you are seeing yourself. The way you see yourself is the way everybody will look at you. It's time you shed off that image. I was reading this verse and it just made me, I was just romancing over this verse. This is Romans. Okay, I didn't know this. Romans 8:29. It says that whom God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son. Okay, whom God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son. I can make it simpler for you. That means even before we stepped on this earth, God knew us. He foreknew us. And what was His imagination about us? What was His imagination the moment Cheryl was born? The moment Rina was born? The moment Ria was born? What was God's imagination? He imagined Jesus. And He imagined you exactly like Jesus. Isn't that powerful? When you were born, God didn't imagine you to be X, Y, Z. He foreknew before even you could be born. He painted a picture, and when he took his brush and when he began to paint shiny, his hands moved and he ended up painting Jesus. When he took his pencil and he began to sketch Cheryl, he went on sketching, and in the end he saw that it looked so similar like Jesus. In imagination, in God's imagination, you are like Jesus. And that is exactly what He made us, right? When we are born again, our spirit is exactly like Jesus. What God imagined, He fulfilled. This is the power of imagination.